How you doing, YouTube? Today we're back with a brand new video. Okay, so in today's video we're heading to skim a small little bedroom, sort of attic room type thing. We're hopefully going to get it all in one hit. There's not too much. We don't need a whole lot of material, so I'll set you up on the tripod once we get to the job. Okay, folks. So I'm actually just going to talk you through this sort of early part of the video, and then I'm going to let it play it as I usually do. But I just want to talk you through because I do something a bit different here. So in the bucket, I have mixed about a quarter to a half a bag of bonding, and then topped it up with skim. I'm going to use this as my first coat, and then I'm going to just second coat skim over the top. So the reason I do this, you can see they're sort of facing the door. There's a big hole in the wall, so and the wall's pretty deep. I wanted to bond it out, but because of time restraint, I couldn't do it. So the next best thing we can do is mix a drop of some people call it magic mix, some people call it 50-50. 50-50 is what I call it, although it's not half bond and half skim. And basically what it does is the bonding thickens up the plaster, so it allows you to fill out deeper holes. You couldn't fill out this deeper hole with skim on its own because it would just sag and sort of fall out. But with the bonding, it just adds a little bit of bulk to the stuff. And what you'll see me doing is I'll actually do a couple of coats with this stuff. So before I start to put this on the rest of the walls, I will half fill the hole, and then once I've put on all the plaster in the room, then I'll use the last drop of stuff and I will just finish filling the hole out. The reason I do this is because the first coat will take in a little bit, and then it makes the hole just slightly less heavy. And then the second coat will fill it out, and it just saves anything sagging. Now, I have mixed this stuff a bit wetter, obviously because I'm using it as a first coat. It needs to still be spreadable, and because there's so many angles and corners in this place, it actually takes longer, believe it or not, in smaller rooms with lots of angles than it does in bigger rooms with just big long walls and single angles. So I'm going to use this same stuff. I'm going to put just a regular coat like I would if I was just using skim. This sort of 50-50 mix is actually a bit stronger than just a skim coat, so it's technically better. A room like this didn't really need anything other than a reskim, but because of that hole, that's what forced me into doing this. Usually I would have just skimmed the whole thing and had done with it, but obviously because of the hole, we couldn't do that. Also, I've PVA'd these walls. Now, PVA isn't something that I use anymore. I was in a rush for this job. In the morning time, I went to the builder's yard, and my local builder's yard that I use didn't have any SBR, so I was forced to buy PVA. Now, I have a Screwfix is pretty close, but I find that the PVA from Screwfix isn't the best. It's very watered down, and I do struggle a lot with walls when using that PVA because it doesn't kill the suction enough. Now, I do use PVA on this, as I say, but I use it neat. So basically what neat is it's unmixed. It's not watered down with anything. And there's two sort of schools of thought on this. The first school of thought is you mix you water down the PVA. The wall obviously has more moisture to suck in, and it doesn't absorb the water out of the plaster just as much. And then the other school of thought is obviously the PVA is stronger, so it stops the suction on the wall. SBR, you don't have any of these question marks. SBR completely seals the wall, and you will get no suction from your background as long as you have SBR'd it and give it enough time to go tacky, basically. SBR, you don't really want to go over it while it's still wet. I prefer to let it completely dry in. There's people say that you should go over it tacky. What I mean by tacky is while it's started to dry enough where it's sticky to the touch, so when you touch it, your fingers stick to the wall. But I find that, and it's just personal preference because I've tried both ways, and I actually find that going over it when it's completely dry is better. For me personally, I just find that there's less suction. I think the reason for that is because obviously when it's tacky, it hasn't had the opportunity to completely dry and seal the wall. So that's just my thoughts on it. Feel free to correct me in the comments, but that's just my personal experience. So when I use this 50-50, there's an important step that we need to add. So with skim, we would just flatten the wall in with a speed skim, and that would be it. But with this 50-50, we actually have to flatten it in, and then we need to come back with a trowel, and we need to sort of smooth the surface off. You can see me here doing it on the ceiling. I do it on the ceiling because it's dried a bit. But what you're doing is you're using your trowel to sort of make the skim come to the surface, so it gives you it's just like a regular first coat of skib. It seals the bonding into the coat, so that it doesn't bleed through until your second coat. And then obviously doing this leaves it so you need to really be like touch dry. So when I'm going over this with my second coat, I want it to be dry to the touch. So when I push my fingers onto it, it doesn't come off onto my fingers, but there still hasn't set enough where I can like move it. That's usually the best time. Now, keep in mind, if you start putting on at the stage where you get what I'm talking about there, by the time you get to the end, it's going to be hard. So you have to sort of walk that straight line and try to find the right stage to go at. And be honest with you, it comes with experience. But that's when I usually go, just when you can put your fingers, just the bondings and skims not coming off into your fingers, but it's still malleable. You can still move it slightly. So yeah, but I'm just going to let this video play through now. I'm going to put some music over it, so I hope you enjoy. Okay guys, so that's just done for today. As you see, it was straightforward enough. It wasn't a massive room and we done it all one hit. So as you seen, we also did something a bit different. As you seen, the stuff that we used was a bit different because we had about a half a bag of bonding in the first coat of skim. And basically what that does is it thickens the skim up a bit, and it allows us to fill that sort of hole that you've seen on the side that I filled in. It's a good way if you have to do bonding the same day and you don't have a massive amount of time. I call it 50-50, even though it's not half skim, half bonding. It was a bag and a half of skim and a half a bag of bonding, so it's sort of 3 to 1 if you want to put it that way. Yeah, and basically all you do is you don't let it set, you let it take up a tiny bit, and then you flatten it off, smooth it off, and the skim allows you to smooth it off and allows you to go straight over with the next coat. I didn't have any SBR today either, which meant I had to use PVA, and it was an absolute nightmare. As you seen, I had to just keep going around it. I didn't stop, and that's the difference between SBR and PVA. I actually don't use PVA anymore at all. So hopefully the builder short has some SBR in soon because PVA is a nightmare. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Think about becoming a channel member. Channel members, currently there's about 9 videos already up. There's an extra video every month, and then I'll also be releasing the plastering course soon. That's probably going to be in January. I'm hoping over the summer break I'm going to do a lot of editing and get all the videos finalized and posted. It's going to be a perk on Patreon as well, so you can sign up there if you want. Go to my Buy Me Coffee link, or my Amazon affiliate link. The way the affiliate links work is you click a link to one of the tools that I use day to day. It brings you to Amazon. You buy the tool, I get a small percentage. If you don't buy that tool but go on to buy something you were going to buy anyway, I also get a percentage, and it's a good way to support me without giving me money, basically. So the main way that you can support the videos in the channel is by liking and commenting and subscribing on the channel. With just past 1500 likes, or 1500 subscribers, which is massive for me, something I honestly didn't think, and now we're gonna get a big push on and try to get 2000. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.